All right, it's Monday, July 28th, just following up on the SPY. I discussed how I bought puts here kind of on bar number 4, expecting it to kind of test lower. It eventually did move lower. I was able to scale out at that, inflection point of the lows of the day and the pre-market lows and this little pivot here and set up kind of a no-risk trade. And then as expected, this is a pause area. I see a green bar form, and then at this point, I see another green bar starting to form. So I'm just exiting with a basic gain on this one, which is totally fine. This wasn't a high conviction trade that was going to sustain itself to the downside. So anyway, for now, I bought those 645 puts at 825, scaled out at 910 to set up an orange trade, and I just sold the rest at 847 here. So an overall little small gain, and it's just a matter of we're starting out the week here, kind of taking out the high the previous day, which you expect after the green bar. We're at a little exhaustion risk, so you could see opening price action wasn't building momentum to the upside. It was highly likely to take out a little liquidity, but we're still above the midpoint of the prior day. The week is just starting here with a lot of earnings coming up, so the weekly chart is really neutral at the moment. It did take out the high the previous week. Until we get below the midpoint of that week, there's really no bias to the downside yet. We could, if we pull back a little bit, it could be setting up good buy opportunities, or it might just hold here and continue green, green, green as we've been doing for many, many weeks. The only red weeks here have been pauses along the way. So the momentum's to the upside, we know that, but given that exhaustion risk, there is temporary little pullbacks along the way, even if they're very short term related. So this particular move here at the open just didn't seem to have the momentum to start the session, and therefore you're kind of anticipating before it might want to head higher, taking out liquidity to the downside. I allowed it to do that, and then just given the price action, like I said, I was going to watch it closely. That's enough for me to just exit the trade. And if you maybe every so often you're going to get a deeper, stronger push down within this environment, but in this case, it looked like it just want to hold here. And I'm not saying it's going to head up for maybe this is a good buy right here, to get back to the highs of the day and resume the uptrend, quite frankly, with a tight stop here at the midpoint of this bar. I'm not going to play it that way. I think the SPY's a little tricky this week with earnings coming out with a bunch of stocks, so it's going to me, be a little more neutral for the time being, but you never know. So at the moment here, all I know is that we kind of gapped up a little bit, but pulled back. There was a big sell-off here from the pre-market highs, but the trend is still up. So not surprising to see this reversal here happening. This could easily take out the high of the day and move a lot higher. Who knows? But for now, the put trade just wanted to follow up, with the overall context in play. Made sense to maybe try it to the downside a little aggressively, but it also made sense to be pretty nimble about it if it wasn't going to really sustain itself, which obviously it hasn't at the moment. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the day, but tough to trade the SPY, in my opinion, in this environment at the moment.